Hello, Ekello. I know.
Hello.
We're dancing. Oh, Ruth is in the house. Hey, Ruth. Cool, cool, cool. Are you? And Al is in the house. Welcome, Al.
Al's here. How are you doing?
Yeah. Cool, cool, cool. How's everybody's Black Friday going?
Ooh, I almost bought myself a Spectre monitor today. I was so close to buying this.
Ooh, that reminds me, I should buy a monitor. I need to buy a monitor. I'm using a TV screen. I don't think that's very good for my eyes.
Oh, no. But Spectre has like a 27-inch Black Friday thing on Amazon right now. So.
Oh, okay. I'll look at that. Hey, Keisha.
$88.
Hey,
100
Plumstone.
megahertz.
Hey, Jen. Oh,
Who's that?
Christina bought Social Bee and Affinity, eyeing up Leonardo. We understand that. We hear that.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. The F1 update for those, just so you know.
Oh, yeah.
Lando Norris has pole. And my boy Gasly is in the top 10. In fact, he was 8th place ahead of the Haas and the RB, which matters for the Constructors Championship.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There's 2 different championships, and they run them at the same time, and they overlap, but they end at different times.
It only ends when it's mathematically impossible for someone else to beat. So Max Verstappen is champion of the world in Vegas. So Christine and I got to watch him win his 4th world champion. And basically, it's only because mathematically Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc cannot catch him with how many points are available for the rest of the season.
Boy, you're going to write one heck of a little F1 sexy time. I tell you
don't even know. And as Jen goes, as usual, Elizabeth was right. I keep seeing more and more people talking about F1. Yeah,
MKHB, a very famous YouTuber, is obsessed.
Yeah.
Chloe, whatchamacallit, if Strange Than True, her YouTube, she is obsessed with F1. It's because like it's perfectly suited for people of technical mind, of mind of technology, actually, because it's the cutting edge of racing. There is no other way that you can build a machine that's more high tech than an F1. F-150 or Indy?
No. F-150 is a Ford truck.
It's like F-150. I'm like, why am I thinking F-150? But then an F1 racer. So it's I don't know. They look like spaceships. Like they could, like if you put them out in space, they would probably look just as cool.
No, but if you put them on the ceiling, they'll stick to it.
Because of the suction.
Because of the downforce drag. They have the bottom is all designed for vortexes. Lots of little tornadoes on the other side of the car sucks the car down, the downforce into the road. So actually, if you put a Formula One car at full speed on the ceiling, it would have enough suction to keep it stuck to the ceiling and drive.
I'm telling you, there's going to be, like, in the future, there'll be some kind of little loop thing where you can go up and invert, and it gives you extra points or something.
That would be great. Jen says, can you vacuum a room with one?
It's good to see everybody.
Yes.
Danny writes, Semantic Slip.
Semantic Slip. He's got pretty eyes. Who's got pretty eyes? Yes, Ekello has pretty eyes. I agree.
Oh, thank you.
Laura, his wife Laura would also agree. She's great.
Yeah. She's the best, actually.
Hello, Dawn. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Keisha. Keisha, how you doing?
Mania.
Ooh.
Yeah,
wow.
Mania.
I love that last name.
Mendutenu.
I wonder if it's Polynesian.
Mendutenu? Yeah, it's a great last name. I love it. Yeah. Yep. Names are very important. Semantic is saying cozy F1 romance. Oh no. No cozy.
Oh no.
We banging. Okay. It's fast. It's live fast.
There's going to be a lot of metaphor for the genitalia of these people in this book. How about that? Lots of metaphor.
Or no metaphor at all. We'll just do that. Nova is in the house. Hello, hello.
Did we say hello to Rick yet? And
Hello,
Christina?
Did we see Rick?
He all the way at the top. And Plumstone.
Oh, Rick, you slipped in. Rick DiCarlo. Hello, hello. And Lissa? Okay.
Plumstone. Love that.
Yeah, I did say hi to Plumstone earlier.
Nice,
okay.
Nice.
We got stuff to do. What we got to do. Okay. Great. Blue. It's like we planned it. Like I've got like yellow and you've got blue on your side. Like we're warm and cold. The color schemes. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was reading comments and then literally looked up and was like, oh, look.
Yeah.
I'm blue.
Okay. First of all, I got to tell y'all the skinny. I had a meeting right before this call with the Realm Chef guys. And I got to see more mobile stuff. I mean,
wow. The mobile thing is so exciting.
Yeah. PlotDrive is going to work on your phone and then it just talks to the desktop and then tablet. Like it's amazing. And I got to show them the interface that we had in RaptorWrite, which is the new folders interface. And Ekello, I thought we could kind of play with it a little bit because I think it's going to blow your mind.
Yeah. I played around with it just a wee bit, but I haven't gotten in. I had my feet. I didn't take my shoes off and put my feet in the sand. So
like with the locks.
Oh, yeah, we really do have to play with that.
Yeah. All right. So
yeah.
Let's I will share my screen really fast.
You do that.
For the notes so that everybody has the notes. It's the same gobble notes as always. The link is also in your description. Let me click out of here and go to StreamYard. I forgot to also post in AI writing for authors that were live.
Yep. So let me see here. Whoop. Where are we? There I am.
Yep. So few real quick things. We do have the Mastermind Lab. How many people in the chat have joined, have been members of the FFA before that? Say, just do FFA, like all caps. And if you're new to the FFA, put new in all caps in the comments so we can say, hey. We have had, I think, over 30, it was 32 new people this morning. I don't know what the number is to now, but
FFA.
Yeah, look at all those FFAs. And then we got a new, yay, welcome. Oh, so fast, I'm clicking. Oh, man, y'all are fast. We've got Dawn, who's new, and we've got Nova, who's new, which is great. And the big thing is that I think I am so excited for the future of the FFA that we get to move on to advanced stuff. Like we're going to focus this month of December, a December to remember. Get everybody all caught up who's new. And January, February, March, like we're running. We're writing the books. We're going forward. We'll have commercial Raptor Write, which is called PlotDrive by then, which is great. Other cool things. We have our standalone classes on sale right now. Ekello,
yes.
Do you have a standalone class that you have enjoyed?
The one that Stephanie did on Google LM.
Oh, Stacy. Yeah, Stacy did.
Stacy did on Google LM, Steph. Stacy did on Google LM.
That's a sleeper class. I have to say, people don't realize how awesome that class is. Did you want to share something specific about it? Or if not, I will.
You please do, but know everyone before she does that it is a comprehensive class that kind of tells you a bunch of stuff that you can do with it other than just the podcast.
Yeah, the podcast was the big thing that everybody jumped on.
Yeah, and it made it famous, but it's way more powerful than that, especially for organizational purposes and plotting back end and all of that stuff. It's really good.
Red says, I'm obsessed with the Google LLM now. So useful.
Yeah.
Stacy's our resident expert in all organization. She's more like planner oriented and stuff than I am, which is saying something because I've got washi tape and like all kinds of, like, I like to do my bullet journals and things. And she's our resident Notion expert, and she like went deep dive on Google LM notebooks very early on. In the springtime, I think there's actually a class in the FFA on Google from spring or summer that she did the class. She proposed it, I think, in spring, and then we put it on the schedule for summer. The idea that you can have all these documents with really good RAG and be prompting them. But I think the best thing that she shows in that, it's like a twist on that podcast, because most of us, it doesn't really work to have a nonfiction podcast if you write fiction, right?
It doesn't work at all.
No. So she actually shows how, as a marketing thing, you can have your characters make a podcast. Like, she did this whole bit in that class about how to have the podcast people talk about your fiction book, basically, and talk about the characters, or have the characters be the podcast persona character from your book material. She used The Wizard of Oz as an example in that class.
And it's both insidious and ingenious all at the same time, because you're subverting the expectations of the people who are about to listen to it by making the actual people, the two people having a dialogue that is very relevant to whatever the piece that you're building. It's powerful.
That's what I love about the FFA. And it's, we take something that, everybody jumped on the Google LLM and it was like, great, take all your blog posts and turn them into podcasts, and everybody's podcast is going to sound the exact same.
Podcast.
Woohoo.
Make $28. Make $28 every day on Spotify with your very boring podcast.
Yeah. And so then she's like, wait, you can use this feature for anything. You can make them talk about anything. You can have entire documents about, characters, diary entries from characters, etc. And so your characters are having the podcast, or the podcast is about your characters and like what's going on with the character in that story. So it becomes a marketing vehicle that fiction writers can use. And I feel like that's what we have to do right now. We are definitely in the stage where these tools are not built for us. They're not built for creatives. Not really. Some are, but most of them aren't.
Oh my God. 11 Labs just released exactly the same thing. They're like, today or yesterday, I just saw it on Twitter. Yesterday, today, they released a podcast that you can build with separate characters in the whole 9 yards. Mm-hmm. So I'm probably going to have to do a video for the FFA on that specific kind of function and how you can use it and stuff. So.
And then there's more. So Spoken, our friends at Spoken that we met in Vegas.
Bam!
Guys, this is like free to use right now. They're in beta right now. They're going to come and do a webinar. I'm meeting with them next week, but they're actually going to come and do a webinar for the Future Fiction Academy for the Mastermind people. Spoken. They have right now they're doing, I think, short story and novella length, but they're moving into novel length. If they haven't, they were trying to ship it while we were in Vegas. But I think it's
their entire team was in Vegas. So
yeah, their entire team was there. And Spoken has actually multicast, and it's going to have the ability for you to make custom voices that are unique only to your character that no one else can use. They're building like a whole ecosystem. It's early days with them, I will say. But I think if you are at all interested in like with the future of audio and stuff, they're another big company to keep an eye on people doing some amazing things with AI audio for creators.
They're actually a platform. They have so consider their when I say platform, I mean, think YouTube, think Spotify. Yeah. Those are the foundations for something that can be built on top of it. And they are trying to position themselves as a true platform. So it's very fascinating and interesting. And they seem like they know what they're doing. And when I interviewed them, I felt like they really understood what they were getting themselves into. I remember one of them saying something about burn rate, but other than that, that old chestnut, when you haven't released the actual product yet as a real thing, as a paying thing, but it's free right now. They're called Spoken, and go over there. And I think it's spoken.com, isn't it? No. No. There is no way that they have
It's
spoken.
spokenai.app.
That's right.
So I will add this to the wait, no, this is not it either. Hold on.
Yeah.
Nope.
You Googled it, didn't you? You Googled it.
I did Google it, but wait.
I'm going to open ChatGPT.
It won't know.
Hey, it's got a new web function, and that web function is good.
This is embarrassing. Like, I talked to these guys. Phil and Andrew are going to kill me.
Spoken.
But I don't know.
I think I might have their
card.
I do have their card, but I don't have it here with me. It's in the other room.
Oh, you know what? I can do this. Hold on. It's in my email. Give me 1 second.
Spoken AI. Spoken AI.
Spoken.press. This is good. Yes, I found it. This is right. Huzzah.
It is app.
No, it's spoken.press. So we're gonna take a field trip here, everybody.
Spoken.
So there is
.press.
The reason you can't Google it is because they're brand new. It's not like they're awesome. They're freaking awesome.
Oh, I've got a definition. Spoken.press is a platform that enables writers to self-publish, share, and monetize audio versions of their work. It offers tools for producing multi-character narrations and publishing audio content without compromising creative rights. Listeners can stream content, support writers through a subscription model where 50% of listeners' subscription revenue is distributed proportionally to the writers they engage with. Mm-hmm. And that right there was from ChatGPT, by the way.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I'm really excited about this. We talked to them a little bit about some things, and so the way it works is go back to us now. Oh no, I don't like that view. I think this is a better view than we're just
Zoink.
Yeah, it makes me squish. It's better, and we have the dinosaurs in the background.
I can't move anywhere.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to have Phil on the channel, and I'm sure Phil would be happy to be on your channel too.
Actually, I have an interview already.
You have an interview.
Yeah, that I'm gonna pop on that channel.
So what I like about them is that, they're trying to think through what authors need and what readers need. And so their idea here is that you join Spoken. So like I'm a creator or whatever. It's $10. I pay my $10 a month and I get access to everything that's on there. And I can make my stuff. And then people who listen to my things, I get 50% of that revenue that they listen to. And there's a bonus too, I believe, for what percentage my content was of my listeners. What I mean by that is like, let's say I have 100 listeners. If out of that 100 listeners, the majority of their listening stuff was my content, I get a bonus for that. So what that means though, is that authors of the same genre are going to compete with each other. We've seen lots of bonus systems come into play with KU and all that. And what sucks about those is that you're basically pitting lower genres against higher end genres. In this way, you're kind of like, you're only competing against yourself. So it energizes you to create the best content for your listeners so that you keep them listening. And if you achieve that, which is what you should want, you get a bonus.
I remember the CEO explaining to me that think of the Spotify sort of music model, except you don't have the Taylor Swifts and everybody sucking all of the oxygen.
Exactly.
Everybody is on an even playing field. And if you have a certain amount of listens, you get paid that percentage. Whatever that percentage is, you don't get less because you are less. You get the same amount as Robert Pattinson, as anybody that's on the Spoken platform. And you can really think about the creator economy as including authors at that point, because they can build these entire things, not automated, but with 11 Labs backend and automated sort of voiceovers and stuff like that. So you don't pay a actor specifically, but the actor is going to get paid at the end because they have an 11 Labs
because they're doing,
because they're doing it.
Yeah.
So they're doing licensing, and it all works out because of the way that it's built. And you don't have to do anything but upload your book and approve
right
the output of your book. I mean, I'm an actor. I can literally go in, and there are certain parts that should have more this, that, or the other, and I could just inject my voice into specific parts of it, and it will use the other narrator's voice, obviously. But it's a platform. It's a real thing.
Yeah. So we'll be talking more about Spoken, but just keep an eye on it. Join the free beta. This is the great thing about being on the AI train right now. This is the opportunity to get in at the ground level. You know, if Spoken is the next Spotify for audiobooks, are you going to be kicking yourself that you didn't join now, November 29th of 2024? If you wait till 2026, you know, we know what happens with saturation and things like that. It can just be a little bit harder to get your toe in the door. So, but they impressed us. If you need to know anything else about this company, they all came in members only matching jackets.
They did.
I mean, what else?
They were white. They were white jackets. These white.
Them. I mean,
and I'm like, I look like it's like a reverse Oreo in the interview, because they got these stark white jackets on right next to me, and I was like, what? You two kind of got it, like y'all. And even the two spokesmen, young
Phil
men.
and Andrew.
I want to say kids, because their faces. They look.
Oh, the younger.
They look like babies, but they were grown men. They were very helpful and everything, but every one of them, white members only jackets.
I'm gonna out Stacy for a second. When she was talking about the Spoken guy, she's like, "It's the one who looks like he could be a cover model." She was like, "That's how you know who the Spoken people are. Somebody looks like a cover model."
Yeah, there was a couple of two of them were just hi.
Yeah, very much so. Very much
straight out of Zoolander. Anyway.
Cash says, my goal is to make a full cast dramatization with sound effects, so this is great news. Yeah. So it's they don't have sound effects yet, but I did put that bug in Phil's ear, and he was like, hold up, wait a minute. I'm like, no, let's go. We need full cast dramatization with sound effects.
Oh, okay. Hold on now. Hey McKinley. Hey Cash. Hey Jorge.
Yeah, Jorge. I saw Jorge.
Hey Jorge. Oh my gosh, I love Jorge. Carrie.
Steph, she did say that. For the record.
Steph Jonas, how you doing? Yeah. Laura, how you doing?
All right. I think we've done enough talking about cool stuff in AI. Let's go play with folders and RaptorWrite. You guys ready to see the cool? Because I already created a workflow for this.
This is very cool, y'all.
Yeah. Y'all ready? Y'all ready for this?
Oh gosh, boy. Girl. Are we really those people?
We are those people.
We did, y'all. It was like Jinx buy me a Coke. Did y'all hear that?
I got a ginger ale. Ginger ale.
I've got good old fashioned water. All right, let's do this.
All right. Cash says, FYI, I found this place from Ekello's YouTube, so forever grateful. So,
Cash.
Yep, love it. Okay, so we are on the Spoken.press again. Spoken.press. I should add that to the notes here too.
Notes, yeah, probably.
Cool new way to do AI audio.
Now, I noticed earlier in this, while you're doing this, I noticed earlier that you had not actually started your easy peasy session, had you?
No, we have not gone back to Tempest and Tequila.
Okay. Tempest and Tequila.
No. That's what we were doing.
I thought we were going with coffee and something.
Yeah, it got overruled last night.
Did it?
It was a thing.
I didn't see the last. I peeked in a little bit on the last session while I was sitting on the couch trying not to pass out from turkey. And I kind of peeked in and said a couple of things, but I did not get whether or not.
There. That's what I was like. You were there, dude.
I was there for half of a second.
You were there. Okay. Yeah. So we're not going to see our faces for just a little bit because I want to give everyone a good view of this.
Yeah.
because this is going to blow everybody's mind. So I am going to do a new project. Like we ain't gonna mess with that project. We're gonna make a new project altogether. And I'm gonna call this project, why don't we call it, everybody always wants me to write other genres, cozy mystery. Well, no, let's do like a genre that I never do.
Sci-fi, military sci-fi.
Military sci-fi.
Come on now.
Okay, military sci-fi it is.
Yes.
All right. We're doing that thing. So let's pretend we are working on our military sci-fi. So I'm just going to go military science fiction.
This is so exciting. Okay.
Yeah. Now I'm going to set up some folders. So now you have this blue all folders. So when I go to all folders, you can see I've got main. That's where you start off with. And there is still an active folder. It's right here. There's nothing toggled on or anything. So I'm going to make a new folder right now, and I'm going to call it prompts. Now let's pretend I'm getting set up and I need premises. So I'm like, write me a premise for a military science fiction novella.
Yeah, that works.
That includes space. That's going to be my only, and so let's say I'm planning like a 3-book series, maybe not a 3-book series, but like 3 books that go together in like a collection. So like there's a common theme that includes space and a theme of, what are some top themes in military science fiction?
Invasion. Definitely invasion.
Invasion. Okay. So that's going to be like the tying theme. Invasion.
As a matter of fact, couldn't we make it we could just make it 3 different conflicts from the same war with the same aliens?
No, hold on. Just slow your roll, dude.
Yes, ma'am.
We're not there yet, but
okay.
I like what you're thinking.
Okay.
Let me erase the prompt from the continue prompt. We want to work with pristine no prompts right now. So I'm going to save it no prompt because this is our prompt. So I have a premise prompt. Now, oftentimes after you get a premise, don't you need a character list?
Yeah.
And then don't we often need, I don't know, a character list? And I think I also need to also do an outline.
Okay, there it is.
Okay, so I have these prompts. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create some new folders, and I'm going to go story 1. It'll get a name later on. Add another folder, story 2.
Oh, that's slick.
Yeah. Oh, it gets better. It gets better. But wait, there's more.
But wait.
So now in my folders here, I've got main, I've got prompts, I've got story 1, story 2, story 3. Okay. So in my prompts, I'm going to go ahead and toggle these on, and I'm going to hop into my active folder. And they're on, right? Now, usually when you toggle things on and off in the active folder, like I'm not using premises anymore. Oh no, it went away. Oh no, it went away. And oh no, it went away. I need to use those repetitively. So let me go to the folders again in the prompts, and I'm going to toggle them on. And this time I'm locking their butts down. Right click, lock. Right click, lock. Now when I go into active folder, if I turn off premises, it stays in my active folder. You still with me?
Yes.
All right, new document.
I'm trying to
I know.
Get into the thing so that the chat can see me chatting back to them. I don't want to like leave them.
So I'm changing my AI to 4.0 latest. We can go 8192 and we're going to go 0.7. Okay, so coming back to my project. So this is blank title.
Oh, the locks are crazy.
Yes. So here we go. Are you ready? Story 1. I'm going to toggle on premise. I'm inside a story and I press my backslash to go. And it's going to write me a premise. Okay, I thumbs it up. I'm going to turn off premises and I'm going to turn on characters. And now it made me a character list.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
And so that's done. Cool.
So-
I would validate that. Wait. Turn off character list. Turn on outline. Go. And now here is the outline. That is not the outline. Hold on. Thumbs down.
There we go.
Outline is on.
There we go.
Oh, did it already make me an outline? I think it's confused from what it wrote. Hold on a minute here. Thumbs down. Okay, we have the characters.
Supporting character. Keep going.
Let's go. Let's look at the thing. Oh, I see why.
Oh, you've got
Uh-huh.
why?
Because there's nothing in that document. I forgot to save it. That's why.
I was like, why is it empty inside of those brackets?
Because there was nothing in the document. Actually, now that I see this, I'm going to actually label these as prompts so that when they get put into the prompt, there's a context. This is why we have the binoculars.
Yeah.
So now when I toggle this on, the premise prompt, if I look at my binoculars, premises prompt start. So it knows that was the start of the prompt. Okay. So now I'm in story 1 here and we have all this information. So now I can, let me delete all this other stuff. Don't worry, we're going to do this again because I know that this got messed up.
Wow.
I turn on outline prompt and now I go and it's going to write me an outline. There we go. So this is all the story 1 information and it's done.
You need to turn it on, right?
I turned on outline prompt. It's good. It's writing an outline. It did.
It's just not showing up on the, let me make sure I check the video here.
I'm looking at it. It just wrote me an outline.
Just making sure.
Yep. See? 6, the climax. I changed the prompt. I should say make me an outline for 12 chapters. That was the original prompt that I had. So story 1 is done. I'm just going to right click this and I'm going to click move to folder and put it in story 1.
Good.
And now that entire stuff is over there and I can toggle this off, do a new document. So you can, whatever your prompts are here, you can iterate because you have them locked down. So here's story 2. We turn on premises. We're in story 2. Now it's going to give me a whole nother premise for a story. Now we have Raina Cade. I thumbs it up. I turn off premise. I turn on the character list. Give me a character list.
Hey, everybody, while you're watching this, and if you're a little confused, there's always the rewatch. But also remember, like I said to you in a previous live stream, she's sometimes the fastest mind in the room. I am having a hard time following it very much myself.
We're going to go slow. We're going to go slow in just a second.
Cool.
So I'm going to turn on the outline prompt. I'm back in story 2, story idea number 2, and I'm going to slash it on. And now it just does the outline. It does an outline for me. Cool. What I'm doing is I'm basically making very quickly, I'm able to iterate dossiers of entire stories. It makes the premise, the character list, and the outline. And it's as easy as toggle on, toggle off. And now it's good to go. I click save and I right click and I can move that to the folder of story 2. Now we'll do the third one and we'll go really, really slow. So I'm going to make a new document. What we have here, let me go to all folders. We have a main folder, which you can use for anything now. I made myself a prompts folder. And when you add the lock thing onto it, what that means is that when you toggle that on, so it's in the active folder, it will remain in the active folder whether you toggle it on or toggle it off. So let me go back to our faces for just a second. So what that means is that you can have prompts. And what are you doing?
Kara Dasha.
Oh, she wants to eat. Sorry, my dog has to eat. Apologies.
You did ask someone to do that.
I did. I texted, but I said I would be live. So Dasha's just like chilling on the bed. So she's fine.
That was awesome. Good Dasha.
Okay. So it replicates sequencing accidentally. Like we accidentally did this thing. So if you have prompts that you have to use over and over and over again, it just stays in your active and you're like on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. And you can maneuver them. So like if you have a continue the story prompt, you could have all your chapters that you toggled on and you can shove that puppy at the bottom and it's at the bottom. You're welcome.
And how did you thank you, Maui. How did this happen?
I told Joseph we needed a way to keep the prompts locked into the active thing longer because I was using prompts and then I have to go after I toggled it off because I wasn't using it. I have to go get it again and bring it back into the active folder. I'm like, this sucks. We need a way to like keep it in the active folder. So he's like, how about a lock button? I was like, yes. Wow. So if you lock it, it stays in active.
But it's not necessarily clicked on as active. It's just inactive as a permanence.
It's just there in the tray so that you can use it.
So everybody, you now have a universal place where all of your stuff for all 3 of your trilogy, your entire series, everything in your series can now sit in the active folders and be a reference if you need them to be. So once you get done, like we're working on military sci-fi, now you can have the first battle happen and it can have consequence, have characters from that first battle and have them in the second battle, the second book, and have direct reference to those things as you need them. You don't need necessarily all the characters for all of the scenes inside of the next novella. You could just toggle on the scene, the series of prompts that you need for that particular scene. Maybe have an interpersonal relationship between 2 people, and that is directly affected by something you toggle on and off that is sitting in the active folder permanently as a thing that informs everything, and all you have to do is turn on and off each one of those documents to lock it into place like that. That was an
You could take a chapter, say chapter to translate, chapter 1, lock it into place. It's up at the top, right? And have your translation things of like first turn it into English, easier to translate. Now translate it into the language. Now translate it back into English so that you're checking it.
Wait a minute.
And you can have folders that are your final folders, and you can just send documents to your final folder. It's done. So like the organization is for you.
Oh my God, I just had an idea. That means that you could directly sequence things so that you could have different.
Yep. Welcome.
Oh, okay.
I said we have to redo your video, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But not sorry.
So everyone, I was so happy. We got back from the Author Nation, and Elizabeth calls me up and we have a discussion. She talks to me about this YouTube channel thing. I wag my tail in a way that only an enthusiastic puppy can.
He was awesome.
And I pretty much made a bunch of videos, kind of like bing, 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 bing. Probably made the folders video too quickly because
I didn't know he was working on that. I would have warned him that it was changing.
But I mean, it made sense to make the video because it needed to be made.
It did.
I had no idea
it wasn't done yet.
That you were going to change that much stuff. I mean, even the interface, y'all, it used to look completely, it had 4 buttons.
It was very cumbersome, right? But you'll see how fast I was working with that. Like because I worked with folders and y'all saw me struggle. Yeah. If I'm struggling with the UI, I'm like, I don't know what I'm clicking. But now it is just as easy as, okay, I need something in my folders. It's right there. Like this makes me feel like I'm just getting my folder and I'm toggling it on.
And show them how to lock the folder again. Show them how to lock it up.
You just right click and you can lock something.
And how do you unlock?
You right click and you click lock.
Nice.
So, oh, well, that's a bug. Somehow we double up something.
Oh crap. Oh, I can't. Now, oh, I was gonna say if it did 3 that time, I would have been like, oh,
That's why this is why it's not in production yet. Everybody was giving me such crap in the Facebook group. Like, this came out 3 weeks ago. Why is it not in production? It wasn't ready yet. Like, stuff has to go to baby so that we can play with it and hack on it. We're inventing what it means to write with AI right now. Like, that's what we're doing.
We're not traditional developers, everyone. It's not like there's this minimum viable product thing that happens with a lot of products. I mean, most of the major writing software that you actually use right now were developed in that way, where they got it to a point where it was okay, it's fine. We can now put it out. We did that we did it differently. We put out as best a product as we felt like we could do, and then started iterating on that very good product.
Yeah, that's what baby is for.
Which is a different thing. The baby gives us a lot of freedom to just really break it if we really want.
And the reason we do that is because I don't want someone who's on deadline using the regular RaptorWrite to suddenly have like their life ruined because we pushed an update that wasn't stable, or we pushed an update that nobody knows how to use or something, or we don't have documentation on yet. So that's why there's the baby and then there's the regular. You can use either one. But we commit to like the first one, the main one is going to stay pretty stable until we announce like, hey, we're making this change and here you go. We did the same thing with Rexy. Rexy has a baby too. Features came out in Rexy. Now there is a comment here and I want to speak to it, Ekello, if you don't mind.
Please.
I did just have this meeting. PlotDrive is going to have to be really amazing to keep with Raptor. Guess what? Guess what? You want to know if we have the right team of engineers and amazing people working with us? They just watched me do what I just did to show you guys and they have the recording and they're making sure it's in their product. On top of that, theirs is going to be even more advanced than free RaptorWrite. And I'll explain why. We're going to also have the ability, maybe not in the first one, but very soon. So I just showed you prompts for generation, right? Like prompt generation. They're going to be able to build what we just did for prompts that you highlight. So let me explain. Maybe you constantly have to tell dialogue to make it more human because you use a cheaper model or something like that. You can have a folder that's just your highlight prompts. So you highlight stuff and then you toggle that prompt on and you go, or something like we're still experimenting with that. That doesn't even exist in RaptorWrite right now. So the way revise works, you have to constantly change that prompt, which is the highlight prompt or the box. So that's going to be a future thing. So eventually at some point, you're going to have these prompts that you can very quickly pick up and you can customize yourself for any task that you're doing with AI. So think of it like regular edit functions that you yourself like when you are editing a chapter. So like you get a chapter out of 4.0 mini and you're going to have to like tell it to expand because like 4.0 mini has a tendency to like summarize action in like one paragraph. You may have a prompt that says read below and expand that to include character interaction, dialogue, and increase and slow down the pacing. So you have a paragraph of action and you just have this prompt always there. You're just highlighting and go do that. Okay, now the other thing that you always have, the bow-itis. Highlight the endings all the time and it says remove any foreshadowing and make this end on a cliffhanger. And it just fixes it. And you can choose if it has the context of other documents or doesn't have the context of, it's going to be very powerful. PlotDrive is going to be very powerful. It's going to work on your phone and your tablet and your desktop.
Yeah, that is, we're getting lots of what?
Yeah.
And
like a safe macro type
you guys
of deal.
roll out fast. Even, what does it say? Even well-established software has bugs like every 1,000 lines or something. Well, it's not that we're okay. So our stuff has quirky quirks too.
Oh yeah.
It's just that we're not building it like there aren't a bunch of engineers that are going. We have an engineer. We have an actual software engineer that happens to also be an author. So he has this kind of little bit of inside track on that, right? So he understands.
No. Joseph's not an author.
I thought he was. That's why he was at Author Nation.
No,
I thought he went to sessions and stuff.
He wants to write a book. He's like a lot of people.
Oh, that makes me happy.
Yeah. So the story with Joseph is I met Joseph back when I worked at PseudoWrite, and he wanted to do like plugins with PseudoWrite, and it didn't work. It didn't.
Yeah,
like,
they did it in a different way. They went in. They
at the time it didn't work with their map, which understand they had their roadmap of how they're developing their software and all that, and that's cool. After I left PseudoWrite and I started the FFA around July. It was July. He's like, hey, you're doing this really cool thing with the school. Can I build you a special tool to make prompting easier? And I was like, okay. I don't have any way to pay you. I have nothing. Like, we just started this.
I love that. You're like, you want a what?
You want a what?
Because you hadn't even really thought about developing software. It was all about education and making and hacking and putting on our lab coats and figuring out how to manipulate AI in all of the different places, whether it be Chat GPT or the console or any of that stuff.
Yeah,
which, by the way, we have a bunch of classes coming. Yeah, we have a bunch of classes coming out with console and Chat GPT's playground. You're gonna really love that stuff. So
Gemini didn't even exist yet.
Yeah, and they've got a console too. It's gonna be great.
So he built the original prompter, and it was rough. And then we worked on it a little bit, and I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, well, can it work like this? Can it do this? Can it do that? And then we released Rexy in August to the beta testers, and everyone was like, this is great. And we realized, even as rough as that originally was, it was making a no-code solution for authors to be able to sequence or to be able to change prompts and have a prompt library with variables. So the original vision, the vision I always have for it is like, what if we could build a scratch for authors that they could sequence prompts and make stuff happen? So let's do another example. Go ahead.
I just lost my audio for half a second. I missed the last little bit you just said, but go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah. So anyway, Joseph is fairly compensated. Everybody on the team is fairly compensated. Like, we don't have anyone working for free at the FFA. That's not a thing. But he, so he built Rexy and all of that. And then we had this opportunity in Vegas, because this is a thing that I want to address this, because Nova is asking this question. Is PlotDrive an FFA thing or something separate? The answer is yes to both. Both are true. We have been friends with Realm Chef for over a year. Y'all will remember I did the original testing of Realm Chef and helped show it and all of that. I knew that they were going after RAG, and they have a really good RAG solution. Like, I love their RAG solution. And Jay reached out to us right before Author Nation. It was like, hey, you have this great software, RaptorWrite. But do you think there's any kind of a way to do a partnership? Because I have this whole engineering team over here. We want to build cool stuff for authors, but we don't have your insight. We're not authors ourselves. Jay is, but he hasn't published something yet. So it's that category of, he's actually written long form and short form, but he's, he wants to do right. He wants to do it right. He wants to listen to authors. He wants to build something that we need. And he knows that, I'm not a software engineer. I don't.
Uniquely, Jay was in the FFA for a little while, y'all. So this is all right. So this right here is, I'm sorry, I've got to stop for a split second and do a little advertisement for the FFA, but this is a perfect moment to emphasize what happens when you're in the FFA. A mastermind means a mastermind. You have people who of all different kinds. There's a lovely woman named Olivia, and that's all I'm going to say is her name is Olivia. And she is, I can't even explain to you how accomplished this particular author is and how amazing she is in her presence. I mean, to me, in my brain, I always equate her to royalty. She very much knows what she's
She's a queen.
talking. She very much knows what she's talking about. And you end up having, I ended up doing a class with her because Elizabeth or somebody forgot or something. There was something weird.
We won't talk about that. It was not me. I did not miss it.
We back in the day, we had a setup with the Zoom and it was a bunch of
Zooms. It's okay. But Olivia was amazing.
But Olivia was amazing. We just ended up doing this class and she just made that class happen for an entire hour. And we learned about the audiobook process of Apple. It was crazy. Yeah. It was crazy. And this is a absolute perfect example. A developer, a person who wants to be an author, and he realizes as we're building these things that these are useful things that maybe his company can help out in a really real way. And it sparked his imagination. Do you know that at the FFA that most of what we do is spark imagination? We make people think deeply about how they can apply AI. I literally did this today. A barista at work was writing a dungeon master thing, and I said, you should use a little AI. He's like, well, I like to do it myself. Yeah. I said, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying don't do it yourself, but imagine you have all of your dungeon master stuff and it fills in tons of blanks in the middle so you can have tons of extra stuff. These all happen because you're at the FFA. You get to learn these fundamental and have a mastermind with people who can help pull you into a new universe, a new reality that you will live in.
He needs the Google notebook. He could put all of his dungeon master stuff in there, and then that way he can always query.
Thank you. I'm going to tell him on Monday. I'm going to totally tell him on Monday. He's going to lose his mind. He could have a notebook for each dungeon thing, and he could have like historical stuff and pull in. I'm telling you, we spark imagination. That is what has happened to me the most. Is I get an idea because I see a thing and I go, oh, I could do this. How many times has that happened to everybody in this that's watching this thing right now that has been involved in the FFA?
Let us know in the comments if you've been in an FFA class or an FFA session and something like sparked your imagination for something different. Let us know in the comments.
Commercial over.
Here. Yeah, thank you. That was a long commercial.
Sorry, commercial over. And this, ladies and gentlemen, I know it's like, and this is you when you're brought to you by the FFA.
Yeah. Okay. So, Lissa's agreeing with you. She says, "Oh heck yeah."
It's weird. It's a weird. It's a sensation that you don't get unless you're amongst other like-minded people that actually know what they're talking about. It's fun.
Yeah. When we started the FFA, I thought that I only needed to be a live class once a week because I thought everybody had the same AI knowledge that I did. Like, I genuinely thought, like, they're not going to want to learn from me. That, like, everybody's on top of this.
Nobody knew.
No, I did not know. I was not aware that I had this special talent of wrangling robots and
understanding the logic of LLMs and how they can be applied to creative endeavors. It's extremely weird thing to do. I've been doing it for about for a pretty long time now, and it's weird to think about technology as a crossover for creativity at the same time. It's counterintuitive, actually. You don't think that they should be, but they are.
Mm-hmm.
All the time. Look at that.
Tidbit turned into a meal. McKinley says yes, thus the overwhelm. So there was actually, what were we doing? Were we live? We weren't live on YouTube. I think we were doing a club strat. But so Ekello is like me, where we don't just follow other authors. Like, if the AIs, I watch a lot of stuff about AI, like in general, stuff that I can't necessarily apply to authors.
I'm a generalist.
Yeah, but I that's how I find new things that I'm like, ooh, I can hack that. I can make that work. I can make this work.
I do it all the time. Yeah.
Because I have 15 years of publishing experience. So I bring that to the table when I'm watching something about new AI.
Mm-hmm.
Ekello, you bring like theater, music, composition. Like you've been
I
in
don't
the
know if
industry
anyone
for
knows this, but I'm pretty stoked in storytelling.
yes.
I know how to tell a story from a literal character's point of view. So I'm just telling you, it's yes. Anyway, go ahead.
And one of the problems, and I will admit I was feeling feisty that night.
Boy, you.
Yeah, when you came on and you said that nobody on YouTube could get Tetris to work in one prompt. And I was like, oh, yes, I can. And the difference in the prompting, and Ekello caught it right away.
Mm-hmm.
These people who are engineers were literally prompting the AI. What was it? Like, make me Tetris.
Yes, actually, write the game Tetris.
That was it. I didn't even try that. My natural inclination, and Ekello was like, oh, I described the game right away. I was like, I need a falling piece puzzle game, 2-dimensional, where all of the pieces are made up of squares, and one is in an L shape, and one is like 4 blocks. Like I just described the game, clicked it, and it worked.
And actually, to be honest with you, the first time she clicked it, all of the squares that were supposed to be 4 squares were like 16 squares or something.
Yeah.
So she said, okay. And then she typed in, make sure that these squares are all this, and then these squares are all that. Once she saw that what the error in her prompt, and it did it. Now, is it one prompt to get almost 95% there is in one prompt? Is it better to do it in one sentence or to actually write the prompt?
Yeah,
and I found out the hard way.
Right, or do you want to get it efficient? Like,
yes,
like it's great as a party trick if you can do it in one prompt. And we got it it did work as I described it. If I had done if I had just tweaked my original prompt and done that in a new chat, it would have done it in one prompt. I just didn't. I had never done anything like that before. I can't even code a Tetris game.
I couldn't even believe when you did it. I went, ugh. I mean, literally, my jaw dropped.
I was salty.
It was, yes, she was, because it was literally a lot of very kind of big YouTubers that's part of their tests. It used to be write the game Snake, and all of them got that right.
Yeah, the training data has started to include that.
Yeah, so don't get me wrong. Whenever AI writes code, it writes it differently every single time, but it understands certain ways to get to certain things after a while in the training data, and that right there is what causes it to do these games and make these things better and better, which actually you should all be very happy about, because every time that these LLMs improve, even when they go backwards in creative writing, we know for a fact that they are making a stride to do a deeper sort of learning background on it, so that when it comes out, it's even better and better. This Orion model that will actually O1, the proper O1, is probably going to be released tomorrow.
It's Orion.
You think they're going to call it Orion?
They said that they're calling it. We're calling it Orion because their naming convention sucks.
I know, hon, but
y'all, you ready for this? Okay, here we go. Open AI. We did Ada, Babbage, Curie, Da Vinci. Cool. I was expecting the next one to be Einstein because that would have made sense. No, 3.5.
Yeah.
GPT 3.5. Okay, cool. 3.5. GPT 3.5. I feel like Gallagher here a little bit with his little bit. GPT 3.5. GPT 3.6? No. GPT 4. Okay. GPT 4.
All right. Okay.
GPT 4.5? No. GPT 4 Turbo. Okay.
As a matter of fact, we're having issues trying to get these things to do what we want. So we're also going to make a Canvas version and a...
we're not even there yet. GPT-4 Turbo. That's November of last year.
Oh, the 16K.
Yeah. No. GPT-4
That wasn't
Turbo
even...
It was the first one, 28K. It was the first one, 28K. It was November of last year. I was about to go on stage, and they released it the day before I was about to teach AI at Vegas. And I was like, let me change my slides. So yeah, it was the first 128K model in the GPT-4 world. Claude was actually 200K before that. They were trying to catch up to Claude 2.0. So, okay, GPT-4 Turbo. GPT 4.5 now? No, GPT 4.0. Wait, hold on. GPT 4.0.
Okay.
What comes after that? Well, we're going to go 01.
Yeah. You know why we're going to go on? Now, let me just tell you. We just thought to ourselves, this is such a fundamentally different model because it's thinking. It's got this deep thought. It's got this recursive sort of thing in the background. And it felt transformative. As a matter of fact, it got Ilya fired. So, you know, and all of those other people fired. And then people came back and then people left. And then all of this stuff
anyway, literally the explanation that they gave, the little group of people who work on this, they said that they named it 01 because it felt like a whole new thing and they needed to start over. So
look what I have right here.
What do you have there?
Realm Chef.
Oh, Realm Chef stuff. Yeah. So it's not you. Jen's like, do not get me started on the silly names.
It's bad. It's bad.
And OpenAI is not the only one who does it. Claude.
Oh.
We're going to go Claude 3.0. Cool. Claude 3.5. Cool. We're going to do a new one. Cool. Is it called something like Claude 4.0 Sonnet? No, it's just 3.5 Sonnet again. It's just the new one.
It's new.
It's like, hey, Rochelle. Glad you could drop in. All right. So let me redo the folders thing again. Let's think of a different recursive. What's another? Oh, why don't I show the editing one? Huh?
Oh, I was going to say, you could build a multi-tiered easy peasy book machine, or you could separate the book machine into separate prompts in separate documents, so you can turn things on and off and make it a longer thing. So at some point you can have another go round to make sure you get what were those things you were calling them yesterday? Weird, like when people repeat back and forth.
Echolalia.
Yeah, echolalia and all of that stuff. You know, you could have passes of like deep, like editing, like passes with those sorts of things inside of the active folder that can be turned on and off and stuff.
Let's do that. We'll do an editing of a chapter is what we'll do.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get back into a demo here. Is everybody cool with going back to RaptorWrite and we're going to do the folders thing again? I'll try to go slower. I will try to go slower.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh. Yes, I do.
No, you can laugh. You can laugh.
I'm like, what am I saying? I need to laugh. I can't.
All right. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pull something from FFP, some work that I have to do for FFP. So give me 1 second here. So I'm in RaptorWrite. Let me do a better view for us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to no faces for us so that they can see the thing. Rick's like, yes, please go to RaptorWrite. You don't like our banter? I guess we love new methods. I know. Better when we're all in class and we can share our opinion. All right, I'm going to go another new project, which is not a good thing to do. You should start doing like individual projects. But anyway, we're going to call this the editing chapters example.
I was going to say, is that you or me?
It's me, and I can't make it stop. And then my phone, I held it up, but you can't see it. I call it my Go-Go Gadget watch, my Apple phone. Editing chapters example. So this is some work that I've got to do for the FFP. I picked up phase 2 on a book that Stacy wrote over the summer. It is a elves dark fiction, dark fiction with dark romance with elves. I'll get it out of my mouth eventually. Now, the problem is that this book was written over the summer before we had better models. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring like a few of those chapters in. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my folders. So I'm going to click a new folder and I'm going to make my prompts folder. Add folder. Then I'm going to make my original chapters folder. And then I'll have my edited chapters folder. And you know what? I don't even know what happened in this story. So what I'm also going to do is...
Did you actually need to put the word folder in there?
No, but...
I'm sorry. It was funny.
You know what? I don't know how to edit that.
Actually, you can't. We'll have to.
You can, right?
Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. I didn't actually think he had added that. No, you can't.
I can. I just have to be in a different folder. Rename edited chapters folder. Okay. Okay.
Told you.
This is why it's not in production. You know what? We're just going to delete it.
Yeah, I tried to do this editing the name of the folders earlier, and I went, oh, that is definitely a bug.
This is, well, it's not a bug, it's a feature we didn't think to put in because we didn't know we would need to do that.
That's funny.
Let me explain something. This is what happens. This is exactly how our development goes. I say what I think I need. Yep. And then he just builds it. And then I go play with it. I'm like, actually, I need this too. Like, we develop software purely with scope creep. That is the only way that we develop software.
It actually ends up being really, really good software because there are these things that you need and you just add the things you really need at the moment. And then something else happens and you go, now that I need this thing, this other thing is now weird. So I need this other thing. And then you get this other thing. And then all of a sudden it makes this other thing obsolete way in the back. And so I need you to get rid of this other thing.
But yeah, sometimes it goes too far. And that's how we end up with Rexy.
Yeah. Rexy is
okay. So for right now, if you have to rename chapters, just delete it and make a new one. But that's not going to stay that way because that's not good.
Right.
We don't want
Did you name a trash chapter?
No, trash is already there. So that when you delete documents and stuff, they're there.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, that folder is in there. Interesting. I'm going to empty my trash. Cool. All folders. Okay, so I have main, I've got prompts, I've got original chapters, I've got edited chapters. So let's start making some original chapters here. I'm going to just go with chapters. We're just going to do this like 3 times. So I'm going to go chapter 1. Move it up. Chapter 2.
Oh, hey, Harper. How you doing?
And chapter 3. Okay. Now you can literally do what I'm about to do with anything. I'm going to go over to Notion. I'm going to hop over into our FFP stuff, which is all the way down here at the bottom. And FFP, it's productions and publication. Make sure I don't click on something I'm not supposed to. It is full text, the book vault. And then I have to go down here to prisoner. She's on book 2. I'm on book 1. But I finished that. That's not, yeah. I actually need to fix that. That should not be having my name. That's why it's not getting moved to phase 2 because yeah. And then this should be, yeah, this is now on phase 2. Okay, so I have this one and I started working on it. I'm going to open it and I'm going to grab the text. So that's chapter 1. This is chapter 2. And the writing is actually very, very good. I loved it. But I could tell right away that it was an older model. And like now we have models that can like punch this up even more. And this should be from Corinne. So let me go here. Oh dear. Corinne. Okay, there we go. So we have these things. Okay, so I have them in my jump cut. I'm going to come over to RaptorWrite. I'm going to put them into the original chapters folder. So chapter 3, we'll put that one in.
And just in case y'all all who are new to this are wondering where in the world her cut and paste are going, she has a special thing that helps her like organize all of her cutting and pasting. Yeah,
it's called Jump Cut, and PC has them too. Like we basically learned early on that everybody needs like a what is it called? Like a clipboard management tool. You want to look for a clipboard management tool.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's look at this. Chapter 1. We have this, and Then there's chapter 2 from Everin. And, we're at 2,300 words, 2,300 words, and 2,200 words. So if I want to do some edits on this, and again, the edits I'm about to do on this is not a statement on Stacy's writing at all. This is a 99% AI book. Okay. This is not a book that is like Stacy's personal writing or anything like that. These are like from experiments over the summer where we were working on getting things to just automate. So I need to figure out some prompts that I might do. So let's do this. Let's go with, we know we need plans, right? An editing plan?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to go editing plan prompt.
What folder are you in right now?
I am in my prompts folder.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. Where is that?
I know. I keep looking at this big thing here, but that's not the name of the folder. The name of the folder is right there. Okay. So I got to think about where I'm going to have this prompt. Am I going to have the prompt like above the chapter? I think the chapter is going to be above. So I'm going to say read the chapter above.
Yeah.
No, it's got to be below.
Why?
Nope, that's right. Above, because it's going to go into, yep, I got it. You're right. Read the chapter above and create a detailed editing plan to enhance characterization and the story world so the reader feels immersed.
All right. While she is doing this, while she's writing this prompt out, everyone, you'll notice that what she did was she said above, and the reason she said above is because the way that RaptorWrite is set up, it's set up so that it reads stuff from before and tries to mimic the actual writing from before, and so it reads stuff. So
no. With RaptorWrite, the way you have your documents stacked is how it is in the prompt. So if I have the chapter above this editing prompt, the editing prompt has to say read the chapter above because the chapter will be above it in the prompt.
Yeah.
It's the organization of your documents. You'll see.
I just left the prompt part out, but yes, it's kind of the same thing. Yeah.
Make sure characters sound different from each other, and that dialogue sounds natural to the story world. Remember, characters rarely repeat another character's statement or say names repeatedly. Okay, so it's going to make the editing plan. So there we go. We have the editing plan prompt. And I'll put this up here. And then this one is going to be, I have to think about, this is going to be redraft the chapter prompt. Read the chapter above and the editing plan. Oh, wait a minute. I just realized. Tag your response as editing plan.
Ooh, that was a close one.
Yep. It comes to me as I do it. Read the chapter above and the editing plan. Please rewrite the chapter, keeping as much of the plot intact, and make the changes asked for in the editing plan. Your goal is to write a richer, longer scene instead of trying to write shorter. However, yeah, that's fine. We'll just leave it there. So that's what we'll go for right there. So now I have this prompt that I have to do to redraft and get a chapter thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So
the way this is drafted, it minimizes hallucinations too. Because one of the biggest problems when you're like working on an edit is it adding things that you don't want it to. So yeah, the way this is built, that's pretty cool.
I have 2 more prompts that I need to do.
Beat that keyboard, woman.
I will. Of characters and plot points to summarize the chapter.
Mm-hmm.
This is chapter summary. And we always want to call it the prompt. Okay, so I have these 3 prompts, and now it's time for the magic. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on these 3 prompts, and I'm also going to go ahead and lock each one of them.
It goes best for any as long as it's within the context window of the large language model.
Yeah. I guess you're answering your question.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Said, and this works best for batches of how many words?
For how many words? It depends on what you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Does it need to see a chapter plan if the plot deviated? I'm going to cheat on that. You're going to see what happens. So here we go. I'm going to go slow. So just hang with me. It's going to make sense. I'm going to open up my original chapters folder, and I'm going to turn on chapter 1, and I'm going to lock it into place so that it's in there. So I'm going to go back to my active. So I'm working with chapter 1 right now. So chapter 1 has to be above because it has to, all the prompts go read the thing above. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to have the edit. I'm going to have the chapter summary prompt. So when you look inside of the prompt, it says chapter 1 start. And then we come all the way down here to this prompt. Read the chapter above and make a detailed list of characters and plot points to summarize the chapter. That's going to be the first thing. So it's going to be in here. My AI is set to 4.0 latest 8192. So I'm going to go. It should just make the chapter 1 summary. So that's what it's doing. Cool. I'm going to thumbs it up. Yep, it's done. And I'm going to call this original chapter 1 summary. Cool. Go back to my project. We don't need to toggle that on. It can stay right there for right now until I need to arrange it. I'm going to turn off the chapter summary. I'm going to create a new document. So this is my what is the word? This is my guide. This is like where it started. So I don't have to read the whole chapter again. I can just go over this and make sure that it kind of matches what it says for the final edits that it does, that they should kind of match. Because if they kind of match, then I know it's worth my time to go read that chapter. If it deviates, I know to rerun it because it's just so far away from the original plot. And because it's faster to check this than it is to read the chapter. To me, it is. But I got an even bigger, I got a new prompt. We'll get there. So I have my OG chapter 1 summary. Now I need my editing plan. So I'm going to turn on the editing plan prompt. And remember, it says read the chapter above. It's got chapter 1, and then it's got to, write the make an editing plan.
Right.
So now it's going to do that. So we'll call this chapter 1 editing plan. Go gadget. And now it's making an editing plan. Cool. Thumbs up. We have the editing plan turned on. We turn the editing plan prompt off, and now it's the redraft. Now, the editing plan has to be higher than the redraft prompt because of the sequence. So it's like chapter 1, the editing plan, and then the redraft says, read the chapter above in the editing plan. Now, please rewrite the chapter. So this is going to be the chapter 1 edit. Is everyone following along so far? Am I going too fast? You can go to the binoculars again. We have chapter 1. We have the editing plan. See, the editing plan starts. Here's the editing plan. Tells it what to do. And then it says, read the chapter above in the editing plan. Please rewrite the chapter, keeping as much of the plot intact. Make the changes asked for in the editing plan. This is 4,000 tokens. So we're well within the realm. And now I'm going to go.
Looks like everyone's agreeing on the pace of everything. You're good.
Yep. It's so funny. It added the lock.
The what?
It added the lock emoji because the lock emojis are going in the.
Oh,
That's cool.
that's
That's hilarious.
maybe.
That's fantastic.
That's weird.
Okay, so we already have a problem. This is 1,100 words.
Which, if you remember, the old chapter was 2,300 words.
Uh-huh. So I'm going to thumbs this down. I'm going to come back to my prompt here.
Yeah.
Let's try this again.
I hate to have to give it some kind of arbitrary goal to make.
We may have to.
That sometimes comes and bites you. All right, we're up to 500 words, 600, 700 words. Can we get to 1,000? We're at 1,000. We're already past what we. Oh, dang, yeah, it. It stopped pretty much right at the same spot.
Okay, so
let's try this again. I hate to say this, but 3,000 might not do it. But let's try it.
I'm toggling it off and toggling it back on to make sure that the updated version that I made changes to is in my prompt. So we have chapter 1, we have the editing plan, we have the redraft chapter prompt, and now we'll try the edit again. Let me just make sure I don't have something stupid on my AI set. No, we have 8192, so that's fine.
Hey, watch your cursor. You're in the middle of the page.
I see. We have some issues here. Okay. \. Thank you.
Certainly.
Here we are at 1,000.
I kind of wish we could prompt out. I kind of wish we could prompt out the little responses. I feel like it's eating up tokens.
Yeah, the original one is 2,300 words.
So why in the world would it do such? Go do something ludicrous, something like 4,000 or 5,000 words. I'm telling you, it really has to over sample. I don't know why. It just feels like it's.
No, look.
Oh, what is expanded further in post due to word index? What the heck?
There we go. It continues.
Okay, so crazy LLM say what?
Yep. Pretty much. So I'm going to thumbs that up and now just clean it up.
What the?
Basically, they're all getting hammered right now, and I think that they're trying to cut costs because it's the end of the year. And so everybody is experimenting with this stupid, concise crap.
Boy, that really is beneficial to authors.
Yeah. We love it. Not. Okay, wow. So it's done. So I have the edit. I'm going to go now. Before I even try to read this, I'm going to check to see how much it deviates from the original. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the edit. Now I don't have to worry about these disappearing when I toggle them off because they exist in this folder because I created them here. It's only when they exist in a different folder and you toggle them on and off that they go back to where they came from. So I'm going to turn on the edit. I'm going to turn off chapter 1. I'm going to turn off the editing plan and this, and I'm going to do the chapter summary prompt. And this says read the chapter above. So I'm going to bring the edit one up, and I'm going to create a new document. And this document is going to be called edited chapter 1 summary. So I have the edit, the chapter 1 edit. I have the summary prompt, and now I can get that summary of the edit.
It better not say continue after the continue button.
Nope, it's got those. Okay, so thumbs that up. And now I can look and see like the key plot points. So the edit has the servant. So that's cool. Lord Fenris. Okay. Darian's recklessness. The accident in the banquet hall. And Lord Irvin's intervention. And then her internal conflict. And then it ends with her stepping into the cold air. If I look at the editing plan for the original one, I can see here that I have, there's the characterization. Nope, that was the editing plan. Just kidding. I want the OG summary. We have the setting the scene, the reckless plan, the mistake, Lord Fenris's fury, the intervention, and then the fate. So the main plot is, it did keep it. It renamed it something different, but Lord Fenris's fury of the slapping, and then let's see what the editing chapter summary said happened.
Lord Fenry.
Yeah, she strikes Curran, threatening to have her whipped. So the plot is correct.
It just put it in a different spot.
No, it's still part of 4.
Oh, it is?
Yep.
Why did they name it?
So basically now I know that it basically stayed consistent. And if I wasn't sure, I can always like turn both of these on and literally make a new document and say,
oh, and then say compare the 2 documents. Yeah. And see what the differences are. You know, that's almost as slick a hack as asking the AI to write a prompt for you. That's pretty good.
The plot points remain largely consistent. So if they just do differences in the tone, that's fine. So it's still noted. Yeah. So, I mean, you could read this, but this doesn't really help me because all I'm looking for is if it's close enough that it's worth my time to read that chapter and validate it versus did it go so far off the rails that it's not even worth my time trying to, like, if they had nothing in common with each other, I'd be like, okay, it completely hallucinated that redraft. Let me, you know what I mean? Let me go do that. Let me go figure that out. So now,
hey, Jen says the hallmark of a fiction writer, conciseness.
Conciseness.
That was good, Jen. Oh my God.
All right. So my all folders, I have original chapters, I have edited chapters, and I'm going to also make a new folder, which is middle prompting bits, because I don't know what else to call it. You'll see. So I'm going to go back to the active folder. So the chapter 1 edit actually goes into edited chapters because it's done. The editing plan is going to go to middle prompting bits. And the OG summary is going to go to middle prompting bits.
I love that interface now.
Middle prompting bits. Yep. And guess what? We're done with chapter 1. So I'm going to unlock it. I can toggle it on, toggle it off, and it just disappears because it goes right back to the folder where it existed.
And then you can start building chapter 2.
Let's go ahead and get chapter 2. So I'm going to go to all folders, original chapter. Let's toggle on chapter 2. Let's go ahead and lock that puppy. I know this is so slick
because you can keep all of that stuff, all of that work you did to create all of those prompts, and then just reuse and rinse and repeat.
Yep.
Yeah,
although it looks like we have a bug right now because like let me toggle this off. I don't know how to get this to refresh. It got stuck when I moved things around. I don't know what I did to cause that. So
immirable.
Okay, so we're here. Let me go to the active folder. Okay, I think we're good now. Yeah, now we're good. I just looked and see what document it was, and I just went to that document to like reload it. It just got stuck. I'll let him know that that's a bug. So I turn on chapter 2. I turn on the summary report, and this is going to be OG chapter 2 summary. Okay, chapter 2, chapter summary prompt. We're all good to go. Make sure my cursor's all good. Go slash.
Go slash.
So now it's made that.
Go slash.
Yep.
Admirable says, I do the compare and contrast when I'm kit bashing to see what is different in each chapter. I definitely will use this now when editing.
Yeah. So I have my summary. I can turn off the summary prompt. Now I need an editing plan, and this one is going to be the editing plan. Boop.
Wow, this feels like a workman's day of work. So you know what I mean? You go, you wake up in the morning and you start at about 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. And what is your agenda that day? Is your agenda to write a whole book? Then you do that. Is your agenda to maybe edit something or maybe edit 2 books that day? This is how you do it.
So now I need the chapter 2 redraft or edited chapter 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now this is where it gets a little bit funky. I need the editing plan to be above the prompt because it's going to go chapter and then the editing plan.
Mm-hmm.
And then redraft the chapter because that's the last prompt. Read the chapter above and the editing plan. You must write at least 3,000 words. Go gadget.
Da-da-dum-da-dum-dum. 5, 7. Don't you stop there. Don't you stop there. Oh.
Maybe it's not done.
I don't think it's done.
I think it got stuck.
Yep, me too. Yep, it got stuck.
Oh,
see, it was.
Oh,
no! It's called impatience, y'all.
I touched the PP words. That's my fault.
It's called impatience.
It is.
Oh.
Okay. Here we go. I'm going to do it again.
Should have known better.
I know better.
I felt the same way, though. I would have done exactly the same thing. What are we working with today?
This is something that...
No, what AI? What AI?
That's so cute. It did not do 3,000 words.
You liar! You are lying to us.
I went ahead. Don't worry, I didn't lose that. It's right here. I am using 4.0 latest. Now, I could use something else. Like you could use a different, we could use Sonnet. We could use different things. You could compare and contrast the experience. I was just trying to show like how quickly you can set up a sequence inside of Raptor right now with your folders and your locking devices. You can lock prompts and like run prompts. The key thing is you have to delete that continue prompt is out of here. You can always get it back by clicking reset. You don't want that in here because you'll have conflicting prompts. So I will close that out.
You could theoretically still put a system prompt in there that actually kind of locks it in on its own persona, but you don't really need to do that.
If you want to, but I've gotten to the point where I like to just like prompt purely because a lot of stuff doesn't do system prompts anymore. 01 doesn't do system prompts. So a lot of models don't do system prompts. So in a model that doesn't do a system prompt, that information is just put up at the top of the prompt. So for me, I want to control it where it is the prompt.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay, so this wrote 1543. I don't know how long the original was, 2352. I will say there was a lot of repetition in this originally. So this one I'm actually not upset about because I think it's probably right. And I kind of want to go check what the edit was, the editing plan, because I hope it was talking about like, there's repetition in here. You need to not repeat stuff. Yeah, there we go. Some descriptions feel overly drawn out. Add breathers.
Overly drawn out. It's like, I really want to shorten this.
There we go. Cut redundancy. Example, mentioning shadows writhing multiple times. This is like the exact note that I made because that's how I knew it was an older model because the older models would repeat themselves over and over again. So I'm actually not unhappy with this edit and I'm going to leave it as it is for right now and be okay with it. So I'm going to go ahead and start organizing. So edited chapter 2 is going to move to folder edited chapters. OG chapters 2 summary will go to middle prompting bits. I forgot to make the summary of chapter 2, but I think we've been here for a while. And so I think it's good. the editing plan. Oh, let me untoggle it. Move to folder, middle prompting bits. And then chapter 2, I can unlock. And once it's unlocked, you can toggle it on, toggle it off, and it goes back to its folder.
And start all over
with chapter 3.
again.
So I'm going to come back to this and see what people are saying.
LLMs have definitely gotten smart enough that they don't really need personas anymore. Thank you, Harper. You're right on that one.
Yeah, they really have. Not as much as you, to the point that your persona can actually throw you off a little bit. So, so what do you guys think of the new folders and the locking system? We're gonna pop and lock it. It's locking the prompts. Prompt and lock it. Prompt and lock it. So we'll call this the prompt and lock it method, where you are locking those prompts that you're recursively using. So yeah, we'll work on for tonight for the 9 o'clock. We'll work on doing the easy peasy book machine as prompts that you just toggle on, toggle off. Like, okay, now make a plan. Now do this. Now do that. Let's go.
Well, I will be immersing myself in story this evening with Moana 2.
Moana 2.
Yes. And this, seriously, y'all, I did not realize that folders could lock until she just showed them right now, and it made my brain go boom, boom, chicka, boom, da, boom, da, boom, boom, da,
I love
boom,
you,
boom.
Andy. Why do we need to lock them again? Okay. So the active folder will show you documents that you have toggled on. So if you toggle on a document, you can go to your active folder and you can see what's toggled on, even if they're in other folders. Now, the core functionality is if something is toggled on, when you toggle it off, it goes back to its folder. It's poof, gone. If you lock it, it will stay in the active folder so that you can be toggling that on, toggling it off, like you're reusing the prompt over and over and over again. So for documents that you want to have organized in folders, like your prompts, like your summaries, like your characterization sheet or something, they can live in organized folders. When you're working with them, you can lock them in place so they stay in your active display so that you can constantly be adding them in and out of the context without having to constantly
go all the way back to the other folder.
Go back to the folder, toggle it back on, bring it back into the active. Yeah.
Do the other thing and blah, blah, blah.
Think of your active folder as like your command tray. Like that's your command center. You want to be in that active view because you can see exactly what's toggled on, no matter how many folders you have. Now, we're doing examples where there's like 2 or 3 folders, but I know y'all going to end up with like 15, 20 folders of all kinds of stuff. And the active folder there is to prevent you from having some archaic document toggled on. You don't realize it's toggled on because you're prompting 60,000 tokens. Don't act like y'all ain't prompting 60,000 tokens. I know you are.
You should not be doing that. Y'all just wasting money. Hey, click on cache.
This is great. Yeah, we're going to be that right there. And then Andy says, gotcha. I don't move those. I keep them in the main folder. So this is better. Yeah, it's definitely an improvement. Cache says, is easy peasy book machine becoming the preferred method? Yes and no.
Okay, so can we? All right, because things change so much. Okay, we cannot just say definitively that this method is going to be the like beat all to end all method, because there might be some type of functionality that's built into RaptorWrite at some point that helps automate this even more. Not that that's going to happen. I'm just saying that there's also Rexy. So there's all these other places where you can build these sort of things. You can use the easy peasy book machine inside of Playground, right?
Yeah, you can use it anywhere.
You can literally use it inside of Novel Crafter. You can use it inside of PseudoWrite. You could.
Well,
yeah, you could.
But
you'd
what
have
you
to build it as a back
if there's any other prompting injected on the back end that you don't see.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the downside.
Yeah.
So if easy peasy book machine doesn't work inside of PseudoWrite or somewhere else, it's possible that there's some other prompting going on that you
the background. Yeah.
You can't control. But now if I was PseudoWrite, I would build an easy peasy. Like I would make an easy peasy book machine.
Now that they see it, I mean, it feels like it would work.
Go for it, PlotDrive. Go for it.
Yeah,
bring back first draft, that empty box, and let people have their easy peasy book machine with their credits.
Ooh, God bless. Let's see.
Okay.
61K in the last 90 seconds. 61,000?
With
What?
61,000 in the last 90 seconds. I don't know what that is.
I don't
Maybe for
either.
how much?
I only did 80K prompt that one time. Jen said I only did an 80K prompt that one time. One time, right? So what?
So this is why I'm so excited about PlotDrive. Okay, because I just had this conversation with Jay, and he's amazing. And we're riffing off of each other. And their job is to help me try to be more efficient because, again, I'm not a software developer. So when I'm like, it should be like this, they're like, but how do you consider this? And I did consider what he showed me, which was really cute. It was great for programmers. And it was like an example where the stuff that you have selected is like horizontal. It was horizontally in a list, which is great for programmers. It was really cool. And I'm like, that's great, except we're going to have authors to toggle on 20 chapters so that they can write chapter 21. And he was like, oh, that's right. Yeah, no, horizontal's not going to work. And I was like, nope, we need vertical. So all the cool stuff that we're building with Raptor Write, it's going into PlotDrive. It's going to be better in PlotDrive, and they're going to have more functionality and stuff. And they are listening. They are listening to what we need. So
just remember, everybody, every single time one of y'all go, man, I wish RaptorWrite did this. I wish RaptorWrite did that.
It's going to happen.
Remember, it's hard to, we're an educational institute. We are not software developers as per se. We are an educational institute.
We're not a software company.
Yeah, that happens to have some software that we use internally to kind of facilitate things. And we decided to break one out for everybody. That's a free version of this, but it only can be free because it lives inside of your browser. If it did not live inside of your browser and we had to pay for the back end of that, you wouldn't have this product at all. So as a matter of fact, even inside of the FFA, the way that Rexy is built, the only cost that is coming to the FFA is the server cost for housing Rexy on our own servers in the back, and not the or is it sitting on?
Stop! I'm going to stop you. Okay, sorry. Raptor Write saves on your browser in your cache,
right?
And there is a small server cost because y'all are doing gigabytes of data in text documents every day. I don't know if you know that or not, but there's thousands of users of Raptor Write, and they are sending gigabytes of I don't even know how you do gigabytes of text documents in one day, but we do it. When we launched Raptor Write, we immediately hit the top 10 list on a bunch of different models inside of OpenRouter. That's how much people are hammering on it. So the point is that Raptor Write does have a cost to the FFA, but we're willing to cover that cost because we factored it in as like it's advertising, or it's it's our giving back to the community. We're doing a good thing with the development and everything.
Right.
And then and then Raptor Write hit, and it was a hit. Like everybody loved that. I even love it. And I'm struggling because I'm a mama of 2 dinosaurs, and I like my second one better.
Yeah, but the first one is so powerful.
Well, and the first one's getting a revamp. Like it's hitting puberty. Next week, you'll see Rexy 2.0 inside of the Madness City AW on Wednesday. But Raptor was just the simplicity of it. It was so simple.
A blank page.
It's just beautiful. It just works. Working in line. It's not complicated.
And PlotDrive is very much like that. It is a blank page. Oh, so beautiful and elegant.
Harper says, I'm only responsible for a few 100,000 of those per day. Go, Dasha. Sorry, Dasha's in and out. Okay, so thank you everyone for coming again tonight. I know it's the holiday weekend, but we're having a ball. Tonight, I guess we have the assignment of easy peasy book machine template inside of Raptor Write. Is that the request?
I think that's what they keep pinging
inside of the new Prompted and Lock It system.
That is amazing.
Just I love that name too. Prompted and Lock It. Prompted and Lock It. Prompted and Lock It. Yeah. And we're gonna keep making some cool stuff. So we'll work on an easy peasy book machine template that can work. with Prompted and Lock It. Yeah.
And Elizabeth, I won't be here tonight, so really kind of let your imagination roam on that one, because there is at least 2 or 3 weird esoteric things I can think of doing with the Easy Peasy Book Machine just off the top of my head. So if you have some deep thoughts about it, you should do that.
Tequilas and Tempest and Tequila.
I cannot wait.
I gotta write it. I gotta write the 3rd book for Sydney Marsh. We have it was a good title name last night.
I just got a ping from Susie Solari. That was awesome.
Oh, Susan's the best.
I
Susie
love
Solari.
her.
She is married with Joe Solari, and she helps organize the Author Nation. She's amazing.
Yeah.
And again, Author Nation digital tickets are still on sale for this conference that just happened. So if you didn't get a chance to go to Vegas, you can still watch and there was a lot of great sessions. Like, I had some good sessions, but there was a lot of
too many sessions. You can't actually.
Yeah, you can't go to all of them.
Yeah.
So there was some really great business sessions, and there was a lot of great AI stuff. I highly recommend the Drew Davies stuff. That was really great.
Jason had a great talk on AI.
Yeah.
Joanna had a phenomenal talk on AI. It was a lot of fun. We even had a digital doppelganger talk too. So I mean, really, honestly, they leaned into AI this year, and it was awesome.
So that particular presentation is what's influencing my interest for January and February of mastering agents, because I saw what he did and it triggered my competition, and I was like, I can do better. I can do more.
I don't think it did. I think it sparked your imagination.
Sure.
One of the things that happens at Author Nation too is
yeah.
it sparks your imagination. You sit down in these panels and you go, wait a minute. I actually had, when he had that speech, remember afterwards, y'all all left, and I went up to him and said, why didn't you do it like this? And he had to sit there and think about it, and he had to finally admit he probably should.
Yeah.
Because he was like, I was like, why didn't you just make that into a GPT? Because you're going to lose that thing because of the context window.
Yep.
And as soon as I started breaking it down for him, he went, oh, I guess.
Yeah, but this is the way it is. All of y'all are pioneers. You're here. You're pioneering. We're on the Oregon Trail together. Like, we're going out into the wilderness all together, and we're sticking together. Nobody's going to die of dysentery.
Ooh, good. I'm glad.
You're not the Oregon Trail generation.
That's the worst way to die.
I'm showing my age. All right, everyone. It's 5:47 my time. Thank you again so much. We hope you join the mastermind if that's what works for you. The link is in your description and all of that. I hope you
do me a favor, everybody, like and subscribe. Subscribe if you haven't already done it. We're trying to get up to 4,000.
4K.
4K.
4K. Will be coming.
I'm hoping I can grow this up to like 10,000, 20,000 people, and really kind of get people understanding. I mean, we're not just about the mastermind. We're not just about selling things either. We are about teaching you. Otherwise, we would not do all these daggone free YouTube videos for all these people outside of it, other than y'all get to see what we do and how we do it. Yep.
I mean, there's a time and a place for compensation, and we appreciate that, definitely. But then as much free stuff as we can, we do.
Yeah.
RaptorWrite is completely free. You can get access to it by joining the free class. Actually, any class should give you access to RaptorWrite. There's the brand new Cozy Mystery one, and now you have the Prompted and Lock It folders. This is all great. And I'll see you guys at 9 o'clock. Bye.
Bye, everyone.